Almost 2 years ago, YouTube celebrities Logan Paul and KSI joined forces to disrupt the sports drink market, a market dominated by giants like Gatorade and Powerade. Fast forward to the present moment, and Prime is not just a beverage, it's a cultural phenomenon. This stuff is everywhere.
Wow. Oh, that's good.
It has infiltrated Walmart shelves.
No!
This store even has a secret stash behind the counter.
Usually we sell behind the counter.
It's allegedly in so much demand that Prime has joined baby formula and even the fan-favorite toilet paper as a product which needs a limit. It's become the official beverage of the UFC and even signed a multi-year partnership with FC Barcelona. To top it all off, Prime even got itself a Super Bowl commercial, making them the first YouTubers to ever have an ad air during the Super Bowl. Prime is blowing up, and it's currently on track to become the most successful creator startup brand ever,
The fastest growing sports drink in history.
racking up a jaw-dropping $250 million in retail sales in its first year. Now, it's important to remember that revenue and profits are like distant cousins at a family reunion. They might know each other, but they're not exactly the same. And these sorts of numbers can be the result of a lot of different factors. So take all of that with a grain of salt. But to give that $250 million some context, Mr. Beast's Feastables chocolate brand reported $10 million in sales during its first year, meaning Prime is doing a staggering 25 times better than Feastables. Despite Prime's seemingly unstoppable journey, there are some business flaws flying under the radar. You know the saying, not everything shiny is gold. And no, I'm not talking about some shady ingredients in the bottle. It's a fundamental flaw in its business model. The skyrocketing success of Prime might take a nosedive unless they make some serious course corrections. Before we delve into the details of the business flaw, let's rewind the tape and provide some context. In the early days of January 2022, our internet buddies, Logan Paul and KSI, dropped the bomb on the digital landscape.
We have a project we want to tell you about. We have created our own drink company. Yes!
With millions of followers across various online platforms, their announcement on a live Instagram stream was nothing short of a seismic event. The duo revealed they're bringing a new drink to the party, and it's called Prime.
We have created
Our own drink company.
Prime introduced its inaugural product, a ready-to-drink sports drink. The drink sold non-stop, and a year later, they launched energy drinks with high levels of caffeine under the same brand. And despite being banned from a handful of countries and schools due to its high caffeine levels and its controversy of misleading branding targeted towards children, the sales have not slowed down. In fact, it is widely popular in the UK and across the United States, with kids selling the drink to each other in schools.
Schools are banning a new drink that's at the centre of a social media craze amid revelations it's being resold in the playground.
Moms and dads raiding local stores for cases, and even the hint of a burgeoning black market for discontinued or hard-to-find flavors. Prime Hydration falls under the Congo brand's umbrella, a Kentucky-based company established in 2019 by young entrepreneurs Trey Steiger and Max Clemens. Initially, Congo Brands had a bit of a hit-and-miss journey with some niche energy drinks until they struck gold with Logan Paul and KSI in 2021. In essence, Congo Brands bet big on Logan Paul and KSI, handing them a hefty slice of the business's equity, making them co-owners of the brand, while leveraging their social media presence to promote the drink. When you nail the perfect combo of the right celebrity and the right product, you can fast-track brand awareness to a level that usually takes rivals years and millions of dollars to reach. Congo Brands were able to capitalize heavily on the YouTuber's fan base. And sure enough, this partnership skyrocketed Prime into the spotlight. But it might just be the hurdle that trips them up. Unless they steer with precision and make some substantial course corrections, Prime could be heading for a bumpier ride, maybe even off a cliff. The reason why Prime is heading towards a cliff is because of this statement.
My number is 5 billion for Prime.
Logan Paul has been pretty vocal about wanting to cash in on the business for $5 billion as his exit strategy. It kind of gives off the vibe that Logan's more into the money than the brand itself. And given Logan's prestigious track record, it feels like yet another one of his get-rich-quick schemes.
CryptoZoo.co. I am so excited about this project. It's so fun. It provides a yield with a token, can earn you money.
We found a dead body.
Yup!
I've made a severe and continuous lapse in my judgment.
where he plans to ride off into the sunset once the shares hit his magic number. But there are only two titans in the realm of major beverage acquisitions who could afford such a high price tag: Coca-Cola and Pepsi. And here's where it gets interesting. Coca-Cola and Pepsi are not dummies.
Now you are not dumb.
Both Coca-Cola and Pepsi have learned from their past mistakes, refraining from impulsively buying into hype. They seek robust, sustainable, and defensible brands, patiently observing the landscape before making their moves. Take Coca-Cola's rushed acquisition of vitamin water as a prime example. They jumped on the bandwagon during the peak hype, especially with 50 Cent in the mix, thinking the growth would keep skyrocketing. Spoiler alert, it didn't. Its growth plateaued, and they ended up overpaying. Fast forward to 2021. Coca-Cola made the largest acquisition in its history by buying body armor featuring Kobe Bryant and a product strikingly similar to Prime. Meanwhile, Pepsi's sitting pretty with Gatorade, the granddaddy of sports drinks. Gatorade is the king, owning a whopping 70% of the sports drink market, while Prime holds less than 1%. It's unlikely Pepsi would spend $5 billion in a market they already dominate. In order for Pepsi to buy Prime, they need to see Prime as worthy competition and enough for them to buy it outright. That's literally why conglomerates buy other companies, so that they can maintain or grow their market share and control the industry that they're in. Both Coke and Pepsi won't buy into the hype. They've got the luxury of time to watch the Prime saga unfold and hit back with their own brands. This approach reflects a broader trend spanning multiple industries, from NFTs to metaverse, even the ever-dynamic tech industry. Businesses are leaning into caution, steering clear of hypes, and opting for a more grounded approach. Welcome to the era of realism. Truth be told, Prime currently does not have a strong brand. It leans heavily on the brands of its co-founders, KSI and Logan Paul. The real measure of the brand will emerge when KSI and Logan Paul eventually step away from the spotlight, allowing Prime to stand on its own. Would Coca-Cola or Pepsi be inclined to acquire a brand entirely reliant on two stars who might lose their motivation or ride off into the sunset post-sale? Or at least be far less motivated than they are right now to promote the brand. Prime also intentionally maintains scarcity of its products. By limiting its supply, they've created demand. This is called scarcity marketing, where they encourage customers to make a purchase before the perceived limited supply runs out. This orchestrated hype becomes the bedrock upon which Prime's brand is built. So even if Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or any other beverage company like Dr. Pepper or Monster Energy buys Prime, they would inevitably aim to take Prime from a coveted niche to a ubiquitous presence. They will do this by mass distribution with the infusion of their mass resources. However, herein lies the rub, the very essence that made Prime so inherently cool, the exclusivity, the scarcity, begins to erode under the weight of mass production and distribution. As Prime becomes increasingly accessible, the hype that once fueled its meteoric rise starts to wane. What was once a symbol of exclusivity becomes just another beverage on the supermarket shelf. And as Prime experiences rapid growth, they're bound to make mistakes. Missed orders, stock shortages at major retailers, suboptimal hiring, and employee mismanagement. Growing pains are part of rapid growth, but Prime lacks the luxury of addressing these issues at a leisurely pace due to their glaring spotlight. This vulnerability invites industry giants to capitalize on Prime's missteps. And let's be real, no company is jumping at the chance to buy a brand that's making headlines for pretending to be healthy while being banned in countries and schools around the globe. But hey, forget about Coca-Cola or Pepsi throwing money at Prime. Right now, their game plan is more like a friendly game of squash, where they aim to squash Prime. They want to squeeze out all the hype, making Prime's survival feel like running a marathon through molasses. These beverage conglomerates, though slow-moving, will respond strategically, introducing new sub-brands under their own banners, innovating ingredients, and enlisting big celebrities of their own. For Prime, the path ahead looks a bit like navigating a maze blindfolded. They risk losing top accounts, struggling to keep up the initial sales buzz. A drop in the rate of sales means less shelf space, distributors eyeing the next shiny thing, and maybe even an oversupply headache with discounts flying left and right. But there's a positive. The US energy drinks market is red hot. It notched up around 10% year-over-year growth in 2022, and that's not just because prices went up. Nope, it's one of those rare, large beverage categories that's consistently growing in volume. That means more buyers, more retail space, more momentum for the beverage category. Prime has the potential to ride this energy drink wave, do a little cha-cha, and outshine the big shots in the industry. While researching this topic, I was genuinely impressed to see how far Prime and Logan Paul have come. The energy Logan Paul and KSI injected into the beverage industry is truly remarkable, and Logan's innate marketing skills shine through. And I have to say, Logan Paul has undergone significant maturation, transitioning from a vlogger to a boxer, and now a successful businessman, showcasing a positive evolution not just in business, but personally as well, paving the way for businesses owned by YouTube celebrities. Here are a few nifty moves they might want to consider. 1. Clarify your endgame. Do you aim to keep going forever, sell to a private equity, or partner with players outside the sports drinks arena, such as Monster or a beer company? Number 2. Bring in new celebrities. Infuse fresh celebrity talent into the brand. Diversify perceived risks so Logan Paul and KSI are not the sole faces of the brand. Logan Paul and KSI might need to loosen their grip on ownership. Egos might get a little bruised, but hey, it's all in the name of growth. Number 3. Expand the product range. Keep the party alive with new and limited time flavors, venture into protein drinks, and potentially explore other product categories over the long term. Number 4. Hire experienced talent for execution. Rope in seasoned beverage executives from Coke and P&G, or young talents from places like McKinsey to sprinkle their magic on manufacturing, distribution, and retail. Celebrity-owned brands like Prime and Mr. Beast's Feastables come with layers of business risks. Specifically, a phenomenon called keyman risk, where the fate of a brand is intrinsically tied to one or both of its creators. If, for whatever reason, these creators were to exit the stage, perhaps due to eroding trust in the market or other factors, would this brand spiral into obscurity, blending into the indistinguishable crowd? One brand that I generally believe is different, unlike Prime, is Fenty Beauty by Rihanna. I believe Fenty would last long after Rihanna leaves the stage. To understand why that's the case, watch this video we made about Fenty Beauty. I hope you enjoyed this YouTube video. If you did, consider hitting the like button to support me. Also, help me get to my short-term goal of 5,000 subscribers by hitting that subscribe button. I'd love to see you join me on this journey.